John C. Smith teaches at USC and Santa Monica College. He's an Emmy Award-winning journalist and a renter who first moved here in 1997.
Hi, and thanks for joining us on Vote 2012. John, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Sandy.
I'll start off with an easy question. How would you fix the traffic in Santa Monica?
Well, there's a lot of things we can do. You know, 1985, people were talking about a subway to the sea. It's still not even on the books from the 405. I would be a big proponent. Governor Brown wants to spend $70 billion on a bullet train. $3 billion would get us a subway from the VA complex down into Santa Monica. $3 billion for a subway that thousands and thousands of people could use every day. We should do that. Also, it's not just Santa Monica. Sometimes the best solutions to problems are regional solutions. You get out, when you leave the city limits of Santa Monica, it still takes 20 minutes in the morning to get to the 405 on Wilshire or Santa Monica Boulevard, Olympic Boulevard. We have to work with LA to speed up that traffic, whether it's with traffic officers or what have you.
Would you support Measure ES, the school facilities funding ballot measure that's on right now?
I do. $385 million. I like when experts tell me what we need. The school board says we need this bond measure to help our schools, for school construction. I've seen some of our schools and it looks like they can use it. It's a one-time thing. I think what people are really most concerned about is how the money will be spent. So let's make sure that people know if they're going to pay higher taxes for schools, that there's a good accountability for where that money is being spent.
One of the most service-resistant group is of homeless is the teenage group, the 15, 16-year-olds. You see them on the downtown area sometimes. They're young people. They're runaways. They even call them throwaway kids, or the recently emancipated foster children. How can we improve services to these kids?
Well, I've actually met a couple of kids like that when I've been going around the promenade campaigning. I met a kid named Mike, 22 years old. I didn't even know he was homeless until he told me. He's looking for work. He goes to the library, fills out application forms. He's trying to find a job. Homelessness is a vexing issue, but it's legendary here. So the problem is, how do you help people who are homeless without encouraging the problem? For teenagers, I mean, I look at them. Right now the city spends a lot of effort on the chronically homeless. I think we also have to spend money and effort on the newly homeless, the younger people that you mentioned. I mean, they're the ones that are probably easier to turn and get off the street. They probably have a better support system than some of the chronically homeless. I think that they should also be a priority.
They're still young enough to reach, in other words.
Sure they are. They're kids, and we owe it to kids, and they need a little extra help sometimes.
Mm-hmm. The state of California is no longer funding exercise classes for the older adults that used to happen at the Emeritus College. I suppose that's the redevelopment money again. Do you believe that the city should work to provide, to fill in these programs for the elderly?
Absolutely. I live in a 12-unit complex. There's 4 senior citizens. I take care of each one of them. I wash their car. A woman during the Olympics, I worked at NBC, and she was like, I can't get the Olympics. I went up and fixed her cable for her. But, you know, senior citizens, they need a little more help than the rest of us. And, there are a lot of city services here that are available, but sometimes the elderly person doesn't, you can't just tell someone who's 75, just go online and find the service. I would favor something like Santa Monica Cares, where it'd be a one-stop, you make one call, you ask what services, you find out what you need, and someone tells you, go here and find it.
Let's talk a little bit about affordable housing. There are some critics who say that it increases traffic congestion without actually guaranteeing that the units would go to local residents. What's your position on that?
I think affordable housing is a good thing. I think that a lot of the big projects in Santa Monica have a minimum of affordable housing. The bottom line is, if people can't afford to live here and they work here, they've got to come from somewhere else to get here. And I think there's a big traffic comes in the morning, it leaves in the afternoon. We have to make it so people that work here can afford to live here. Our police and firefighters can't even afford to live here. I was just graduated as a member of Santa Monica's Community Emergency Response Team. I met a lot of firefighters and police officers. a lot of them live out of town. And if, you know, Santa Monica's population swells on a sunny Saturday, you know, 2 to 3 times the number, they won't be here in the event of a major disaster. That's why I joined CERT, and the CERT members, we'd be responsible to be here in that case.
All right. Thank you very much, John.